Hi, my name is Christian Ho. I'm a Formula 4 driver and I am going against the flow. I think it started from quite a young age, especially when I started watching Formula 1 with my parents in Singapore. When I was 4 years old, I went for my first Grand Prix. And yeah, of course I was a Ferrari fan at that time. I think that year Vettel won the race, so I wasn't too happy, but yeah. I think my dad is quite a big F1 fan, but he keeps changing his mind, so I'm not sure. But I know my mom still watches, but she's not really a fan, yeah. At that time, I didn't really think about starting racing, but it was more like to enjoy the sport as a fan, basically. And when I started, I was like 8 years old, so I was like, I didn't really know what was going on. So when I was racing, it was just for fun. I didn't really think about being a professional racer at that time. It was more when I was 10 years old, 11 years old, when I went to Europe, where I really started to take things quite a bit more serious. I think for me, it's more the passion to try and win. I really like to win, and I'm quite a sore loser, to be honest. But yeah, I think it's people like Michael Schumacher, and you aspire to be like them. Like when I describe it, it's quite hard to describe, but I feel like the car is a part of a body for me. So like it feels like an extension of my body, and when I drive a car, it just feels natural. Like you're in the zone, you know. The adrenaline that I feel from racing is like if I take a roller coaster, I can never take roller coasters. I'm really scared of roller coasters, so I don't know why. Just the feeling of racing is just completely different for me. When I first started, I think I was racing with kids who were like 2 years older than me. So at that time, they had a lot more experience, and it was quite hard for me to compete. I was still as quick as them, but the racecraft still wasn't there. But I think as time went on, I learned quite a bit, and yeah, I think I was one of the best in Singapore at that time. I think it's based on how much you work, like mentally, it really affects. It's really mentally draining to race. Yeah. I think it's always the will to win, because when I lost the World Championship in 2020, I was really angry. Like even if you tell me now, I still get really angry, and I feel like really determined to try and make myself right for that and get back at some people, you know, because I feel like I lost the World Championship and everybody was quite depressed on my side of the team, so I feel like I need to redeem myself in a way. Yeah. Honestly, I would love to drive in Singapore, like in F4 or like here in F3, but they're not coming here. So yeah, I mean, of course, it's my dream to be driving one in this track, and I really like this track as well. So yeah, it's quite a shame that F4, F3 don't come here. I think it's always understanding that when you lose, there's always something to learn from it. And I think that really helps me to be, let's say, like less discouraged when I lose. But of course it hurts a lot, but I think the most important thing is to learn from your mistakes. Yeah. I think it more comes from like trying to prove people wrong. I think that's what really drives me the most, I think, in racing. For me, in racing, to manage burnouts, like when I'm back in Singapore, I never drive at all. Like I never think about racing. Especially like I hardly watch anything related to racing unless it's Formula 1. And I think it's better for me, because then if I watch too much racing or do like karting or some sim racing back in Singapore, I always get a little bit like sick of it at the end of all of it. I mean, when you do too much of one thing, I want to enjoy racing like purely as it is, and I want to save my enjoyment for the rest of the season. Yeah. To be honest, I think my most memorable win came from this year actually, in the last race in Barcelona, because I won all 3 races in that same weekend, and I led like every single lap and got all the pole positions. So I think it was most memorable because I think it was something that nobody had done. I think only one person had done it in the whole history of the championship. So it was like a really memorable moment for me, and me and my engineer were really happy. So yeah. I mean, every time I go on the podium, I always look back at the flags on top, and it's always really nice to see the Singapore flag on top. I mean, nowadays in sports, it's not really often that you see that flag on top all the time, so it feels satisfying, and it also feels a bit nostalgic for me, because back in ACS, we used to sing the national anthem every morning, and it kind of reminds me of that, and makes me feel quite happy, yeah, honestly. I think it's been a really fun atmosphere that I've had with the team, and I think it's helped with chemistry. We always laugh at the end of the day, and I think it's a really good relationship that we have with the team. So yeah, I can really feel their passion for the sport and also how much they want to win. I think there was like one video where my engineer like ran from like one side to the other and like went crazy. Racing has really helped me to mature as a person, getting through all the hardships that I've had, especially in racing the World Championship, or like all the losses that I've had. Never give up on your goals. I think it's just always coming back and always learning from your mistakes, and you feel like there's nothing left to do, or you feel like you've maybe done a really big mistake, or you feel down. I think it's to always look back on what you've done and always try to find the small details that can help you become better.